Beat the heat. Choosing the right tomato varieties. One of the best ways to ensure success in hot climates is to select tomato varieties specifically bred to withstand high temperatures. These heat-tolerant champions are less prone to blossom drop and can handle the intensity of the summer sun. Look for varieties labeled as heat-tolerant, heat-set, or southern. These terms indicate that the plants are well suited for warm regions and more likely to produce fruit consistently throughout the summer. Some popular heat-tolerant tomato varieties include Heatmaster, Solar Fire, Phoenix, Sun Gold Cherry, and Husky Cherry Red. These varieties have proven their mettle in hot climates, delivering delicious tomatoes even when the mercury rises. When choosing tomato varieties, consider your personal preferences as well. Do you prefer large slicing tomatoes for sandwiches, or would you rather have sweet cherry tomatoes for snacking? Selecting varieties you love will make the gardening experience even more rewarding. Setting the stage garden prep for hot weather. Before you even think about planting your tomatoes, it's crucial to prepare your garden for the heat. A little forethought can go a long way in creating a more hospitable environment for your tomato plants. Location is key. Choose a spot in your garden that receives at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight per day, but ideally with some afternoon shade, especially during the hottest part of the day. Afternoon shade can help prevent sun scald on your tomatoes and keep the soil from drying out too quickly. The soil should be loose, well-drained, and rich in organic matter. Adding compost or aged manure to your planting beds will improve drainage, increase water retention, and provide essential nutrients for your tomato plants. Finally, don't forget about mulch. A thick layer of organic mulch such as straw, wood chips, or shredded bark will help keep the soil cool and moist, reducing evaporation and suppressing weeds. Section 5. Shade for success, protecting your tomatoes from the sun. While tomatoes need plenty of sunlight to thrive, intense afternoon sun can be detrimental, especially in hot climates. The harsh rays can cause the plants to wilt and the fruit to develop sun scald, which appears as white or yellow patches on the skin. This not only affects the appearance but also the taste and texture of your tomatoes. Providing some shade during the hottest part of the day can make a world of difference in the health and productivity of your tomato plants. By reducing the direct exposure to the sun, you can help maintain the moisture levels in the soil and prevent the plants from getting stressed. One effective way to provide shade is to use shade cloth. This versatile material can be easily draped over your plants or attached to a simple frame to create a protective barrier against the sun. Shade cloth is a lightweight woven fabric that comes in various densities, typically 30%, 50%, or 70%. The density you choose will depend on the intensity of the sun in your area and the specific needs of your plants. A 30% shade cloth will provide light shade, which is often sufficient for areas with moderate sun exposure, while a 70% shade cloth will create a more shaded environment, ideal for regions with extremely hot and sunny conditions. Another option is to use temporary structures to create shade during the hottest part of the day. These can be easily set up and taken down as needed, providing flexibility for different weather conditions. You can easily rig up a temporary shade structure using stakes and shade cloth, old sheets, or even beach umbrellas. These makeshift solutions can be surprisingly effective and are a great way to repurpose items you already have at home. If you live in an area with scorching summers, consider investing in a more permanent shade structure, such as a pergola or arbor. These structures not only provide consistent shade but can also add aesthetic value to your garden. Not only will this provide much-needed shade for your tomatoes, helping them to thrive even in the hottest weather, but it can also create a shady spot for you to relax and enjoy your garden. Imagine sitting under the cool shade, sipping a refreshing drink and admiring your thriving tomato plants. It's a win-win for both you and your garden. Section 6. Tomato TLC, caring for your plants in the heat. In addition to providing adequate water and shade, there are a few other things you can do to help your tomato plants thrive in the heat. Fertilize regularly. Tomatoes are heavy feeders and need a steady supply of nutrients to produce their best. Use a balanced, slow-release fertilizer or supplement with liquid fertilizer every few weeks. Prune judiciously. While pruning can help improve airflow and light penetration, be careful not to over-prune, especially during hot weather. Excess pruning can stress your plants and make them more susceptible to sun scald. Mulch, mulch, mulch. We've already mentioned the importance of mulch, but it's worth repeating. A thick layer of mulch will help keep the soil cool and moist, reducing stress on your tomato plants. Section 7. Troubleshooting time common tomato problems in hot climates. Even with the best care, you may encounter a few problems when growing tomatoes in hot climates. The intense heat and strong sunlight can create a challenging environment for your plants. Here are some common issues and how to address them to ensure your tomato plants thrive, even in the hottest conditions. Blossom drop. If you notice your tomato plants dropping their blossoms without setting fruit, high temperatures are likely the culprit. This can be particularly frustrating as it directly affects your yield. To combat blossom drop, ensure consistent watering, provide afternoon shade, and consider using a blossom set spray to improve pollination. These steps can help your plants set fruit, even in the heat. Sun scald white or yellow patches on your tomatoes are a sign of sun scald. This occurs when the fruit is exposed to too much direct sunlight. To prevent sun scald, provide adequate shade during the hottest part of the day and avoid over-pruning, which can expose developing fruit to direct sunlight. Using shade cloth can be particularly effective. Cracking tomatoes sometimes crack when they experience irregular watering or sudden changes in moisture levels. This can make the fruit more susceptible to pests and diseases. To prevent cracking, water consistently, especially during periods of hot, dry weather. Mulching can also help maintain even soil moisture levels. Pests and diseases. Hot, humid weather can create favorable conditions for certain pests and diseases. These can quickly spread and damage your plants if not managed properly. Inspect your plants regularly for signs of problems and take action promptly to prevent their spread. Using organic pesticides and practicing good garden hygiene can help keep your plants healthy. Section 8. Reaping the rewards. Harvesting tomatoes in warm regions. Harvesting tomatoes at the right time is crucial for optimal flavor and quality. In hot climates, it's often best to harvest tomatoes slightly early, when they've reached their full size and have a slight blush of color. Allow the tomatoes to ripen fully indoors, out of direct sunlight. This will prevent sun scald and allow the flavors to develop fully. Don't be alarmed if your tomatoes ripen to a lighter shade of red in extreme heat. High temperatures can affect pigment production, resulting in tomatoes with an orange hue. Rest assured, these tomatoes are still perfectly safe and delicious to eat. Section 9. Conclusion. Tomato triumph in any climate. Growing tomatoes in hot climates may present unique challenges, but with the right knowledge and strategies, you can enjoy a bountiful harvest of these juicy delights. By choosing heat-tolerant varieties, preparing your garden thoughtfully, watering effectively, providing shade, and addressing common problems promptly, you can create an environment where your tomato plants can thrive, even in the face of soaring temperatures. So embrace the challenge. Experiment with different techniques, and savor the satisfaction of growing your own delicious tomatoes, no matter the climate.